One of our digital media specialists, Neo Mutlong, as we take a look at what's been trending on Twitter this week. Neo, good to have you with us once again. And there's been quite a few interesting stories, but let's start with the racism stories that have been. We've seen them throughout the year. This one has caused quite a scandal. The Rivers Church story that's been trending on social media, and also the Sedona Bay story that's been trending. So talk us through these. What have people been saying on social media?
The River Church story on social media had over 5 million impressions, while the Sedona Bay had 7 million impressions. People on social media are saying, why are we seeing such an increase of racial statements? But you know that we're heading into the election season, so we are going to see a lot of people talking and highlighting these issues. But you have so many people on social media bringing out different topics like gender inequality. I read one tweet where someone said, why do we have issues with the pastor when we've been sitting through sermons that are homophobic? And you had somebody saying, this is a white pastor. They're wondering if he's also going to face the same charges that Mboro faced recently. Is he also going to be taken to that commission? But with the Sedona Bay, what we know is that the license has been suspended. He can no longer operate in KZN, and I know a number of charges have been put on him, illegal trading and other stuff has been.
All right. And I mean, with a story like this, as what usually happens, is a whole lot of other issues, like you say, the homophobic issue. These type of things get raised with a story like this because of the access that people have on social media, and stuff just gets out of control almost. Everybody has a say, and anybody can access what people are saying.
I think, as we've spoken before, media has taken a new role, and whoever has a smartphone or whoever is on Twitter can be a specialist or an expert in a way, and they can voice out their discontent, and that's what we're seeing in South Africa. And you have to know, South Africa has the biggest social media interaction in Africa. That's why when you look around the stats, you'll see South Africa always pops up. That's why we have such a strong voice.
All right. A big story that we've had today, the community survey released yesterday or last night. It's the second most prominent statistics in South Africa following the census. So how big was this actually?
It had over 1 million impressions on social media this morning, meaning a lot of people are talking about it. Okay. And once again, I'll repeat myself, we are heading into election seasons and people are looking at service delivery. I mean, when we looked at the stats yesterday, we saw that the poverty count had in Limpopo actually increased, and in the Free State it remained the same. So I spoke to a specialist, a statistician, who said that just because the poverty count had in Free State remained the same, it shows that it's not good news. It means that poverty programs that have been implemented are not being used thoroughly. And in Limpopo, she said the reason why poverty increased is because of unemployment. And when you look at the geographic of how Limpopo is created, the households are very far from urban areas. And urban areas like the Western Cape and Gauteng had less poverty headcount.
All right, and a platform such as Twitter obviously highlights these things more so than before.
It does. You have certain individuals, or as they call them, celebrities, who would select certain parts of the report and tweet about it and, magnify it on social media.
All right. Well, here's a good news story. South African DJ Black Coffee has won at the BET Awards in Los Angeles. So obviously this has been a big story on social media. It's
been a big story. I mean, everyone is happy that he won this award. It had over 1.3 million impressions on social media, and it's been trending, since Saturday till today. People are still talking about it. He's coming back to SA and he's going to host a party, and people are talking about it and they're congratulating him.
Yeah, we'll see him at the Vodacom Durban July this weekend.
Definitely.
Well, very deserving. We do have a story about him coming up shortly, but let's stick with what's happening in international stories on Twitter, the Turkish terror attack.
Yeah. It was a big story, but what we saw when we were looking at the stats, a few African countries are talking about it, and 60% of the tweets are coming from America, and Turkey itself has only about 25% of the tweets. So it's one of those things that people are talking about it, and Western countries, of course, are gonna talk about it the most, because you have people like Donald Trump who's also commenting on it. And what we read in the news is that Turkey is trying to work on its reputation, and these attacks really do not have a link, because as far as I know, nobody has actually laid claim to this attack. So it's one of those things, like it's a bit mysterious.
All right, and we have run out of time, but before I let you go, we have to quickly just touch on our election site, which I know you guys have got up and running. You did a Twitter Snap poll showing 79% of participants do not know their ward councillor.
Yes, about only 21% said they know their ward councillor. So on our election website, you can actually scroll on our map, our South African map at the bottom of the website. Click any district you want. You can click Gauteng. It will take you to, if you go to Tshwane, and whatever district you hover your mouse on, it will show you who your ward councillor is. So we've made it easy for people to find out who their ward councillors are, and to talk to them.
All right, Neo, thank you very much once again for coming in every Friday. Neo Motlong, our SABC digital news specialist, bringing us up to date on what's happening in the world of Twitter and social media. Neo, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.